Yes, grade 11s, welcome back. What is it that is in front of us? It's question 6 of that question paper. And this question 6, it happens to be a question on function as well, okay? So it's a question on functions. So, and specifically when you look at this, you can't unlook a graph, you know. You see this graph here, it's a combination of a linear graph here and a hyperbola, okay? So let's see what is it that they were asking us to do in this question. What question did they bring here? Okay, so that's one thing that we'll be looking at. So I've said here, it's a question on functions. So yeah, now let's go through this question together. So here they said to us, the diagram below shows the graph of f of x, okay, which is equals to a over x plus b plus q. This is a hyperbola, like we've said. This is hyperbola. Okay, this is hyperbola. And then g of x, which is the linear graph. Okay, now the asymptote of f are x equal to -3. So they give us the asymptote. Okay, as you can see it on the graph, and y is equals to 1. So they give us those asymptotes there. And g intersects at a. So this is the graph of g. They're saying it intersects at a. Then the x-intercept of f, a is also, it happens to be the x-intercept of f, and b, which one is b? Or the two graphs, they intersect at a and b, okay? While c, which is -2 and 6, is a point that lies on f, so we are given a point on f, and g passes through the point d, it passes through the point d, there is d. What are they saying about d? -3 and 1. You see where the two axes, the two asymptotes meet, right? The point of intersection of the asymptotes. That's what they said. So I already mentioned that. So there we go. This is the graph that we're given here, my beloved ones. You see, what is it that they're asking us about this graph? Let's see. Okay, 6.1. 6.1. What was the question on 6.1? Write down the equation of f in terms of a. So they want us to write the equation of f in terms of a, right? And what is it that you've already seen? If you go back, let's go back. 6.1. We have seen that they gave us the equation of f, okay? And they gave us the equation of f of x is equals to a over x plus p plus q, right? This is what they gave us. And then they want us to write the equation of f in terms of a, right? So in terms of a, it means a, it is going to be there, right? It's fine, we don't know a, but we must put something for p and put something for q, okay? So where are we going to get that information for p? And where are we going to get information for q? So you must know that on the hyperbola, right? On the hyperbola, x plus p, né? X plus p is equals to the value that you have for the asymptote, the x value of the asymptote, right? And the x value of the asymptote is what? This is the one here. You see, this one here is what was given to you as -3. So x plus p is equals to -3. So solving x plus p means we're going to have x is equals to, okay, that part x plus p is equals to -3, right? So we need this part here. P is gonna be how can I put it? The way I put it here, it's contradictory. But then one thing that you must know is on the graph, okay, yeah, -p, right? It's what you see on the graph there, which is 3, right? Yeah, this is how I can put it well. Negative p, negative the value of p is what you see as the asymptote in the graph, which is -3, right? So that tells you that the value of p is 3, okay? And then q, you just take it the way it is, the other asymptote, this one here, the one that goes this way, that is the other asymptote, okay? So just take it like that. And what is that asymptote there? It's 1. So q is 1. So now f of x in terms of a, we didn't do anything about it. It means we want to be what? A over x plus p, that is x plus 3, and then plus q, that is 1. So this is the graph of f of x in terms of p. Okay, moving to the next question. Moving to the next question, what is it that they gave to us? Determine the value of a. How are we going to determine the value of a? They gave us a point on the graph of f, right? We have a point on the graph of f. We have a point on the graph of f. Now remember, I said to you, f of x is the same as y, right? So we have a point. We have a point there. What is the point that we're given on the graph? This is the point that I'm talking about here, so that you don't get lost. I don't want you to be lost because it's important that you understand these things, you know. So you see this point here, point C. That is a point that I'm talking about. The image appears to be blurred because of network connectivity. So this is how it is. It's -2 and 6. So that point, -2 and 6, is what I'm going to use. This one is x and this one is y here. So I'm saying f of x is the same as y. So let's go. So we see here we have what? When I have f of x, I said it's the same as y. So what is y there? Y there is 6. Okay. There is 6. So 6 is equals to a over, what is x there? X, you've seen that it is -2 plus 3 and then plus that one there, right? So let me bring this thing here, this side. So I'm gonna put it here as negative a over -2 plus 3 plus 1, and this is equals to 6, okay? Now, taking this across, I'm gonna have a over -2 plus 3, that is 1. So a over 1. So you see, yeah, -2 plus 3, that is 1. And then a is going to be equal to what? 6 minus 1. So a is equal to 6 minus 1, which is 5. You see? So therefore means what? It therefore means that now we have the graph of f of x, which is 5 over x plus 3 plus 1. We now know the graph of f of x. You see? So that is it. Now, that was question number 6.2. Now let's move on. Determine the coordinate of the x-intercept. The x-intercept of f, like the coordinate of the x-intercept in any kind of a graph, you always make y to be equal to 0. It doesn't matter whether it's a parabola or a hyperbola or a linear or an exponential. Y is always made to be 0, okay? Y is always made to be 0. So, yeah, let's proceed. What are we saying there? We are saying that y x-intercept, we always make y to be equal to 0, right? So f of x, we have seen that it is 5 over x plus 3 plus 1, right? And we are saying there f of x is equals to is the same as y, and this is equal to 0, right? So where is this f of x? I'm going to put 0, and this is equals to 5 over x plus 3 plus 1, right? I'm taking this thing here across, taking everything that side. Okay, x plus 3 here, then plus 1, this is equals to 0, right? Now let's solve. Take this one across. So this one is positive. So I'm going to have 5 over x plus 3 is equals to -1, right? It's important for you to see, to do things the way I'm doing them. See, like the way I'm solving them here. Okay, now what am I going to have? Cross multiplication, right? I'm going to have negative 1 multiplied by x plus 3. I'm going to have negative 1 multiplied by x plus 3. Okay, this is equals to 5 multiplied by 1, which is 5. And then negative times x, this is negative x. Negative times negative 2, this is negative 3, is equals to 5. Then negative x is equals to, I take this one across, right? So I'm going to have 5 plus 3, and then negative x would be equal to 5 plus 3, that is 8, right? And then negative x, I don't want negative, I'll divide both by negative 1. Then I'm going to have x is equals to negative 8. You see, x is equals to negative 8. So x is equals to negative 8, that is the x-intercept. So which means the point there, it is negative 8 and 0. That is coordinate of the x-intercept. And that x-intercept, that was point A. If you still remember what they said to us. They said to us here, A, the x-intercept of f. So this point here, it is the x-intercept of f, right? So now, what is it that you're supposed to do? That was 6.3. Okay. So after 6.3, what is it that we have to find? 6.3, write the value of B and C. Determine the value of B and C and write down the equation of G, right? So this is a what? This is 6.4, right? 4. So on 6.4, on 6.4, what is it that they want us to do then? 6.4, they want us to determine the value of A and B, and okay. So, and we must also write down the equation of G. So we have seen that G of X was given to us as what? Let's go back. So here is it. G of X was given to us as Bx plus C, right? So they gave it to us as Bx plus C, you see? So Bx plus C. They want us to find the value of B and C, okay? So with that said, what is it that we have on that graph? So as we have seen that they gave us this point here. Point A, we have already calculated point A, which is the x-intercept, right? To be negative 8 and 0. We found this point, right? Do we know any other point on this graph? The point D was given as well. So the point D, which is what? The point D, it's negative 3 and 1. So we have 2 points. Then we can find the values of this So what is it that how are we going to find the value of P now? So we've seen that on this graph, we have the point what A, which is negative 8 and 0, and point D, which is negative 3 and 1. Okay, this is what we have seen. So with us having seen this, right, this is point D, remember? With us having seen this, how are we going to find point B? What does B represent in this graph? So remember, like here, they can put any other letter. They can put D, they can put M. So normally, but what matters is B represents the gradient, right? The gradient. And how do we find the gradient? Gradient is M is equals to y2 minus y1 over x1 minus x2, okay? x1 minus x2. So now, with us having this, we have 2 points there. So which one am I going to take? I'm going to take this one here, 0, okay, minus that other one, which is 1 over negative 8 minus negative 3, okay? So that's what it represents there. So if you do that, what are you going to get? If you do that. So if you do that, I'm just going to put everything on the calculator. So I trust that you'll be having a calculator as you'll be doing this, okay? So just be having a calculator doing this. So you get 1/5 as the gradient, okay? So with me having the gradient now, what is it that is left for me to find? I'm left with finding y. But you may not need to go to that extent because there is this equation that I like. Y minus y1 is equals to mx minus x1. When you want to find the equation of a graph, especially the linear one, what matters the most is you finding the gradient. If you can find the gradient and you can take any of the point that you have there, then you're fine. So now look at what am I going to do here. So y1 and x1, they represent a point there, and then m we find it to be what? 1/5, right? So I'm going to have y minus, what is y1? Let's use point D. Point D, what is the value of y there? That is 1, right? And this is going to be equal to the gradient, which is 1/5 x minus, what is x1 there? That is -3. So I have -3 there. So we are supposed to have square brackets here. Okay. So now y minus 1 will be equal to 1/5. Let's simplify what's inside the bracket first. So this is x, negative multiplied by negative plus 3 here. And then y minus 1 is equals to 1/5x, right? 1/5 multiplied by x here, 1/5 multiplied by 3. That is going to be plus 3/5, okay? Then y minus 1 is equals to 1/5x, okay? I mean, you see, I'm repeating everything here. I was not supposed to put that. I was supposed to check everything by the time. So y is equals to, I take this -1 across, 1/5x plus 3/5 plus 1. So y is equals to 1/5x, 3/5 plus 1. 3/5 plus 1. So 3/5 plus 1 there. You'll be doing this with your calculator. So that's going to be plus 8/5. So they said to you, determine the value of what? Determine the value of B and C, right? So looking at this graph here, 1/5, B is equals to 1/5, and C is equals to 8/5, right? So you see here, I used point D, the -1, the 1, and the -3. This is point 3. You can use point A, and you'll probably get the very same thing there. Now, we are seeing that C is 8/5, right? So now what does it mean? This thing here, y is the same as g of x, right? So, but then let me just put it this side to say g of x is equals to 1/5 x plus 8/5. And with you having something like this, then you will have answered the question fully. And that is it. With the question, what? This was 6.4, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that was a 6.4. Determine the value of B and C and write down the equation of G. So we have solved the question successfully. So this question is solved. Now they are saying you must write down the domain of F. So when they are now talking about domain, it also brings in the range to our attention, right? To say domain and range, that's how they are, these two. They always go together. So now, how do you find the domain, okay? And how do you find the range? So, okay, now 6.5, write on the domain of F, right? So they want us to write the domain of F. Now let's go back to the graph. You see, this F graph is our hyperbola. This is the hyperbola, right? And the hyperbola, it has got asymptotes there, right? It's got asymptotes. You'll forgive my network connectivity. It's something else. It's not good. It's bad. Let's wait for you to respond. Hopefully you will be hearing what I will have been saying. Yes. Welcome back. So now I was talking about the network being jealousy. Okay. So the network is jealousy. Okay. The network is jealousy. The network is jealousy. such that okay, yeah, the network is jealous. It is always acting. I don't know if it is acting generation the leaders or what is it acting, but I know what it's acting. Okay, so with it acting, so now we'll just watch it act, and then we will react afterwards. So then, what is it that we are seeing here? Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that the question was, let's determine the domain and range, right? So this graph, it can continue and go that way, but then because of this asymptote, it will not touch this asymptote, right? Now, asymptotes, it was derived from isiZulu, asymptint. This graph will never tint these lines, you see? These lines are called asymptint. Like this graph can go anywhere, but this asymptote, for as long as the asymptote is there, it is not going to. So the asymptote are the ones that are going to limit the graph from going, okay? So now they're saying domain. Domain, they mean the x value, right? What is the asymptote on the x? It's x is equals to -3, right? So you see, all the other values, this side you can have the values, but it's not going to touch this one. This side here, you see, from -3 there, it can go anywhere. So -3 is the only value that you are not going to have as a domain, right? So with that said, what does that mean? X is the element of real numbers, right? But there is no way that X can be equal to -3. Assume tint, it will never tint it. And the same goes to your y, right? If you look at the y, this is the y, right? The graph, it starts from, it doesn't start from one, but it starts from somewhere there, right? It can come closer and closer and closer. It can come, but it's not going to touch the one, right? And you see this side, if you take it from the one again, it comes closer, closer this side, but it's not going to. So if they ask you, this one is for the domain, right? Domain, they mean x values, and then range on the hyperbola is going to be what? Y is the element of real numbers, but y cannot be equal to 1. So that's how you are going to put it. Okay? So this is how they're going to put it. And this is how you are expected to answer. So you see, this examiner is just playing with questions. It's just giving you marks, you know. Let's see, 6.6. Determine the coordinates of B. Determine the coordinates of B. Now, how are you going to find the coordinates of B? Okay, let's see. Where is B? There is B. B is the other intersection value of the graph of g of x and the graph of f of x, right? So that's the point of intersection. So how are we going to find a point of intersection? To find a point of intersection, 6.6, right? They want us to find the point of intersection. So to find the point of intersection, what do? We equate the two graphs. So we have f of x, which is equals to 5 over x plus 3 plus 1. And then g of x is equals to what? We saw that g of x is equals to 1 over 5x plus what? 1 over 5x plus 8 over 5, right? This is the graph that we have. These are the, so point B, point A and point B are the point of intersection, right? So point of intersection, we know that this thing here, f of x is the same as y. F of g of x is the same as y as well, right? So we're just going to equate the two graphs for us to find point of intersection, right? At the point of intersection, right? The moment they tell you find the point of intersection, you are supposed to equate the two graphs. Okay. So now, what is it that we are going to do? We're just going to equate the two graphs. That's what we're going to do first. So 5 over x plus 3 plus 1 is equals to 1 over 5x plus 8 over 5. Okay? Now, 5 over x plus 3. I'm taking this one across. It's positive this side. When it comes this side, it's going to be negative. So when I take it across, what am I going to have? I'm going to have 1 over 5 plus 8 over 5 minus 1. Okay? Hey, there is an x here. Don't forget the x. I'm making a mistake. Please don't make that mistake in the exam because it's going to cost you marks. So 8 over 5 minus 1. You'll be having a calculator with you there. So yeah, I trust that you'll be doing what I'm doing right now. So now, if you do that, I'm having here 5 over x plus 3, which is equals to, what is it? It's equals to 1 over 5x plus 3 over 5. Okay? Now, how are you going to proceed? To proceed with this, I'm going to square both sides, okay? Yeah, we have to square both sides. So in squaring both sides, let's square both sides so that we can, at the end of the day, make it to be linear. Okay, before we square both sides, again, we have 5 over x plus 3, okay? And then this one here is the same as x plus what? 3. All of them are having a limit of 5, right? So x plus 3 over 5, okay? And then 5 times 5 here. So we have what? X times, so we have, wow, x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 3. This is a wow, you see? And this is equals to 5 times 5. And then x times x, this is x squared. X times 3, that's plus 3x. 3 times x, that's plus 3x. 3 times 3, that is plus 9. And then this is equals to 25. X squared plus 6x plus 9 is equals to 25. X squared plus 6x, taking the 25 across, so that would be a quadratic equation. Okay, I'm taking the other 25 across, would be a quadratic equation. So plus 9 minus 25, and then this equals to 0. And x squared plus 6x. Okay, so 9 minus 25. 9 minus 25. Hey, 9 minus 25 now. That is going to give you negative 16. So I have negative 16 and this is equals to 0, right? So now, you know, factorization is a problem. But then we're going to have what? X here, and then here it's going to be equal to 0, right? So with that said, what are we going to have? We're going to find the solutions using the quadratic formula, and then we'll just substitute back for factors. So for the quadratic formula, what are you going to have? You're going to have negative, what is B? B is 6, okay? Then plus, I'm starting with the minus, the square root of negative B squared, B squared, I mean, not negative, and minus 4 times A. What is A here? A is 1 there. And then multiplied by C. C there, it is what? Negative 16 all over 2 multiplied by A. Okay? That is negative 8. So we're going to have negative 8. So x is equals to negative 8. And the negative 8, if you still remember, look at this here. If you still remember, I told you this graph will be two a point of intersection. That is negative 8 and net b. So it means the other one that we are left with is that b. Okay? Okay. So now we used a minus for the first one, right? Now you're going to use a plus. So using a plus there, what are you going to have? We're going to have a 2. So x is equals to 2 there, okay? So with x being equal to 2 there, x is minus here. When it comes inside, it's going to be plus inside. X is plus here. When it comes inside, it's going to be minus. So this is how it is. So you have now the x value at b. So x at b is equals to 2, right? And then to find the y value, what are you going to do? We're going to substitute in the linear graph. This is the easiest, right? We're going to use g of x because we can't go for the parabola. Parabola is too much. A hyperbola, I mean. So g of 2 Now use g of x, what is g of x? 1 over 5x plus 8 over 5. So now, what are you saying there? What are you saying? We are saying that g of 2 is going to be equal to 1 over 5 multiplied by 2 plus 8 over 5, okay? So 1 over 5 multiplied by 2 plus 8 over 5. That is going to give you 2 as well. So it means the point B, it is 2 and 2. There we go. So you see, if you have done everything the way I've done it here, you will have gotten all the marks. So this was 6.6. 6.6, not the last question. The last question, it's 6.7. 6.7, that is the last question. So what is 6.7 saying? So 6.7 here, let's see. 6.7. 6.7, it says, determine the values for which x multiplied by f of x is greater or equal to 0, right? So this is a question on the interpretation of graphs, right? Interpretation of graph. So x multiplied by f of x is greater or equal to 0. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? Okay, so what this means is, where do we have the graph of f, right? If you take any x value, right, where do you have the graph of f? That when you take an x value and you multiply it with the graph of f, it's going to be positive, right? So if you take an x value that is this side, a negative x value, and you multiply, you see this part here, it's on the negative. So you see it doesn't give us that condition. The condition is x multiplied by f of x, but it's greater or equal to 0, right? So the question is, if you take an x value on this side, right, and you multiply it by the y value of the graph, this one, where do you have the 2 being positive? So you see this part here, it's already out of the condition, greater or equal to 0. It's positive. It can be 0 and it must be positive. So it is not going to give us 0 and it's not positive, right? Oh, where is it 0? This is where it is 0. This is where it is 0, right? This is where it is 0. This is where it is 0. Where is it 0? This is 6.7 at x equal to -8. That is where the two graphs are equal to 0, right? And then where else? Where else? You see, where x is what? At x and x greater than and x greater than -3. You see, where x greater than -3. If I take a negative x value and I multiply it by y here, it so happened that it gives me a positive graph, right? No, yeah, it's positive. So at x equal to at x greater than -3. So yeah, that is it with the 6.7. You don't have to get all the marks, just write what you know. What you don't know, leave it. Okay? So that was it with the question number 6. And now we'll be moving on to question what? Question 7. So that is it. That is what we'll be doing in the next feed. Bye for now.